All right. Good evening. This is Sanjay, and we'll go ahead and get started with today's presentation. So, first of all, thanks for joining in today. And
6:45. Schon.
Okay. So, in case if you can just mute, and then we will open it up for questions in the last part of the presentation. So you'll have enough opportunity to ask questions. So we'll go through the content first and open it up for questions in the last 10 minutes or so. Okay. So this presentation is planned for next 20 minutes or so. But if you have questions, just hold on to them towards the end, and I will take care of those, answer them as you get it. And you can also, we'll open up the chat, or you can just ask the questions towards the end. Okay, so so today's is just a quick overview and an introduction of this whole science of Vedic mathematics, in case you have not heard about it, or if you have some introduction about it, just to give you a preview of what the class looks like that is offered in summer. So, and I talk, put the title as Fun with Vedic Mathematics, because it's more of learning with more of fun involved as part of the learning. So to begin with, here's our agenda. Today we're going to start with a quick Saraswati Shloka that is the first thing that is done as part of the class to just to follow the tradition and get into the practice of having that open-mindedness and learning that this isn't something new, and students get the benefit of that. We'll slowly move on to the topic of what benefit by learning Vedic mathematics. What is the history? Who started this all, and all about that. Then we will go into the Sutra topics. This whole Vedic mathematics is built around 16 sutras, or sutras mean formulae. Okay, so we'll have a simple example of two sutras that are very, very easy to understand, so that you get a kind of a quick preview. And I want to make sure that these 20 minutes also allow you to learn something new of Vedic mathematics, if you are not heard about this subject. Then we'll get into the class curriculum, what this class is all about, and open it up the last 10 minutes for the Q&A. Okay, so before we quickly move on, I was wondering if you could take just 30 seconds or 1 minute of your time and do any of these four problems. If you want, you can do all of them, or you can pick and choose. So I want to keep this next 1 minute, and then we will get into the answers and solutions. I hope. So if you can just grab a piece of paper and pen and try these problems and see how long it takes for you to do it. Okay, so I will resume in next 1 minute or so. So take some time and see if you can do one of these problems or more than one. Typically, I think a minute or 2 minutes is, 30, 2 minutes is good enough for these problems. And if you know some mathematical techniques, feel free to use them as well. I think if you need more time, you can always copy the problems and keep doing it while we move on to the presentation. It's I thought if you do one or two, we will address these problems, and so that you learn the Vedic mathematic way of doing this problem, so that you can understand the difference between the conventional method of doing it versus the faster and more easier method, I would say, using Vedic mathematics. Okay, so here's the shloka that we start. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varde Kamarupini Vidya Arambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. So this, I thought I'll put this slide there because this is the first slide that is part of the class, as just to give the traditional Vedic style of teaching and learning anything new for that day. And I found, after these 2 or 3 sessions, I found that students remind and they really like this. So just to get them focused and get everybody synced up and take a moment of, few minutes to get started with this learning process. Okay. So what is Vedic mathematics? Who started all about it, and what's kind of the timeline dates around it, right? So at a very high level, Vedic mathematics is not like a speed mathematics techniques it is something that was there long back. It is hidden in Vedas. And that's how you get the word Vedic mathematics, because it is in the Vedas. It was rediscovered by this great person whose name was Sri Bharti Krishna Tirthaji Maharaj. This was discovered between 1884 and 1960. He lived in this time frame, and around 1911 and 1918, this became very popular. He was the first, it is all the sutras and everything was rediscovered. The reason it is rediscovered because it was already there, and it took, so Swamiji wrote 4 volumes, or I'm told 16 volumes, one per sutra, on Vedic mathematics, and that's how this became popular after his books were published. Unfortunately, a lot of his work was stolen or lost, and he was able to rewrite some of it before he passed away. And there's one book that is published, the original Vedic mathematics by Sri Bharati Krishna Tirtha Maharaj. So you should definitely check out that book to see the whole wealth of information on Vedic mathematics. Okay, so everything that is part of the class is, everything from this particular book. If you want to know what's the source of this book. What are the benefits? I'm sure there will be some, benefits that you want to come out of, or some expectations. What I found was there's definitely the speed component to it, because the steps are in 1 or 2 steps. Most of the complex multiplications happen in a very straightforward way. The conventional method forces you to do in a particular, there's a lot of room for mistakes, and so forth. I see somebody has raised the hand, but I'll just hold on to the questions towards the end, if you don't mind. Or is there a particular thing you want to? Can you quickly?
Hey, Namaskar, Sanjay. The volume is coming in low. I'm not sure if it's a problem with us or your side.
Oh, is it? Okay. Thanks.
I'm not sure.
I see. Thanks for telling. I'll get a little bit closer. Oh,
yeah, that could be the issue.
Okay, I'll just get a little closer to the mic. Thank you.
You're fading out.
I see.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for letting me know. Okay. Maybe I should speak a little bit louder. So the benefits that we are looking is definitely speed is faster than the conventional method. Most of the time it is one line, mental super fast method, very quickly to check. So when we go through some of the examples, you'll see that difference, that it is super fast. You don't have to do 4 steps, which means 4 times you can make mistakes. And you can quickly cross check whether you've done it right or wrong. So multiple ways of checking very increases your concentration. Moreover, I feel it gives boosts the confidence in the students, because of the simplicity and the ease of it. You feel like you are at the edge, because most of the time math is fascinating, because if you know some ways of doing it faster, then it's a, the satisfaction and the confidence level is really boosted with that. If you don't like math, this will be a great start. You will love math. You'll get away from that phobia of math, because the conventional method makes it even more, sometimes difficult, and it becomes overwhelming with some of the complexities. So it really depends on how the teacher makes the subject fascinating. So if you get this thing early on, it is a great thing for the students to enjoy, moreover than getting worried and um, the stress that comes with learning any new subject. So it becomes a playful and blissful experience for the students to learn anything new, as such as Vedic math, oral abilities, and moreover, it's just about logical thinking, right? You won't make mistakes, the guesses. So I think these are kind of the high level benefits that come out of learning a subject like Vedic mathematics. What are sutras? So we have around the whole book of Vedic mathematics talks about 16 sutras, and there are 16 around some more sub sutras as well. So here's the Sanskrit versions of it and what that translates to. So the ones that I have marked here in stars are the ones that I focus in this beginner class. So the reason I wanted to bring this out, because it's a huge, vast science. You really can't do a justice teaching every bit of it in this pact of 16 hours. So I picked these 6 sutras that are very, kind of in the beginner, and students can use it more often in their school curriculum. So I picked the 6 sutras. So this class is limited to these 6 sutras, and there are some, I mean, Vedic mathematics, you can learn calculus, trigonometry, algebra, all kinds of, very complex stuff. So, but this class is very specific to these particular 6 sutras that I have put here, and all the lessons that I cover are around these 6 sutras. So we will learn 2 sutras as a quick preview in the next 5 minutes. And the best part is you can teach Vedic mathematics in 5-6 minutes, and then you can just practice. So let's look at one sutra for today. One of the first sutras is called Ekadikena Purvena in Sanskrit. So what that means is by one more than the previous one. So this sutra simply means by one more than the previous one. Ekadikena Purvena. Okay. So if you have a number that you want to do a square, it's especially which ends in a 5. So this is one example where you can use this sutra to do the calculation. So let's say you have a 65 square. Okay. So the conventional method would be 65 times 65, and then you do 2-step method, right? But in this case, as the sutra says, one more than the previous one, because this is a complementary number, 6, 5, and 6, 5. If anyway, I won't get into the details of why this sutra and not others, but at the high level, the first part of the answer is one more, which is 6 times 7. So if it is 6, one more of 6 is 7. So you simply multiply 6 times 7 to get the left part of the answer, which is 42. And to get the right side is 5 times 5. So you get 25, right? So the answer is 4225. So you don't need any paper and pencil. You can simply look at the number and say, okay, 65 square is 4225. So if I ask you what is 75 square, it's nothing but 7 times 8, 5, 6, and the last 2 digits is 25. So this is, one of the small example that tells you that how easy it is to get square of a number which ends with a 5. But behind the scene, you have used actually a sutra which says ekadikena purvena, one more than the previous one. And that's how you get this answer of 4225. Okay, so let's do one more example, 95 square. 95 square will be, the first part will be 1 more than 9, that is 10. So it is 9 times 10 is 90, and 5 times 5 is 25. So 95 square is nothing but 9025. So if you notice that you really didn't have to think a whole lot, right? It's very simple. You don't have to multiply and carry on and then do some additions, things like that. It's just makes it so easy. You break it into two parts and get the answer very easily, right? So if I ask you what is 25 square, it will be 2 times 3, 6, and followed by 25, 625. 45 square will be 2025, 4 times 5, right? So that's how you can easily apply this sutra. Okay, now let's look at the next sutra. Nikhilam Navatascharma Dashataha, which means all from 9 and last from 10. So this is the Nikhilam Sutra. So if you're multiplying, again, what you learn through this is what sutra to apply in what scenarios. So if you are having numbers very close to base, when I say base, for example, 10, 100, or 1000, then you can use this sutra and easily multiply the numbers. Okay, let's see an example. Let's say you have a multiplication of 14 times 12. So you do a crosswise add or subtract, and vertically you multiply. So what we are doing here is on the left side, you will 4 times 2 will be 8 on the right side, this side, right, simply. And then on the left side, it is 14 plus 2 or 12 plus 4. So you can do crosswise. So first I find what is the base. The base is 10. And then I write 14 and 12. And then I see how much more than the base, which is 4, because it's 14 minus 10 is 4. 12 minus 10 is 2. So I write the numbers 14 plus 4, 12 plus 2. I multiply this right side. 4 times 2 is 8. 14, and you add the crosswise, 14 and 2, and 12 and 4 is 16. And that's how you get the answer 168. Okay. So very simple one line method of getting simple multiplications as 14 and 12. They are all above the base of 10. Okay, so once you see a couple of examples, I think this is more clear. I'm going to show one more example. So here 103 times 102, right? 3 digit by 3 digit, doesn't matter. It is simply 3 more than the base of 100. And 102 is 2 more than base of 100. So 3 and 2, you write it on the right side. And on the right side, 3 times 2 is 6. And because the base is 100, you have to write 06, not just 6, because it's 2 digits. Okay, those are some rules that you learn through the class. But on the left side, you simply add 103 plus 2 or 102 plus 3. Either way, you'll get the same 105, and that's why the answer is 10506. So you'll see that it is much different than the conventional method. It doesn't matter whether you do from left to right or right to left. So you have a lot of flexibility to do this kind of multiplication. Okay. So next we'll go with what is taught in the class. What happens? What are the topics that are covered in the class? The curriculum pretty much goes with the part A of addition and subtraction. There are 2 lessons around it. Then there is around 8 lessons of multiplication. We learn multiplication by 11, 12, the numbers consisting of all nines, and all of that. So we learned some of these lessons, no, two of these lessons. Then we get into the 2-digit and 3-digit multiplications. And then there are, in the last section, we have special topics of squaring, working based multiplication, and finally we have some division. So we do have also topics on cubing and square root and all that, based on the age level and where the students are in their current curriculum at school. We introduce those topics as well towards the end. But this is the big picture of what this class is all about. The focus is more on multiplication, because that's kind of the fundamental of most of the math at the beginner level. Okay, so in case you have done the problems in the beginning of the class and you wanted to know the answers, here are the quick answers. In fact, you will find that you learned a sutra, which is 3 times 4, 12, 12, 25, 8 times 9 is 722, 72, 25, 13 and 12, 3, 2 is 6, and 13 plus 2 is 15. 102 plus 8 is 110, and 8 times 2 is 16. So if you see, right, you should be able to do these 4 problems in less than 45 to 50 seconds, right? And you can very well see what a conventional method would do the same thing, right? It'll probably cut the speed into half in most scenarios. So that's kind of the big quick preview of what the class is about, what sutras you learn, and that's, yeah, it's 6:22. So I'm gonna leave some few minutes if you have a specific questions. But I like to, I got this really nice quote from one of the Sutras slides. I really like this, and that's kind of the inspiration to make it make the students more curious in learning what this is all about, and give all the resources just enough for to build that curiosity, right? So I kind of like this whole method of, so this was a very interesting quote that I thought I should share. So again, if you have more questions, definitely you can reach to me via Talent Nook and answer more of the questions. Okay, we have some 6-7 minutes in case you have questions. You can unmute.
So, hey, Namaskar, Sanjay.
Sure, yeah, sure.
So I'm just, so this is a course for summer, right?
Yeah, this is coming up in summer, yes.
And how many, like, is it every day or once in a week? Or
we are looking, there are some, right now, I leave that question to Talent Nook, but my best thing is it will probably be offered twice a week. And depending on the response and all of that, but it's either once or twice a week, one of those.
Once or twice a week, and you're looking at what, half an hour every?
1 hour. 1 hour of each class is an hour long, and a typical class will be the first 45 minutes of learning, or 40 minutes, and then the 20 minutes of interactive practice, and then a lot of homework. Every class has 20 problems so that they can revise the curriculum. And we use Google Classroom as way of organizing all this material for the class.
And the audience is like, which grade level are you?
I see. So depending, last year we broke into 2 groups. One was the beginner till grade 4, and then grade 5, 6, 7, 8 was the second batch. But it really depends on this enrollment, and I leave it, the Talent Nook will make that all of those decisions. So typically class till 4th grade is a 1 batch, and 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. It doesn't mean that students from 9th and 10th should not learn. it's better to learn something like this way early in your school years so that you get most benefit as you progress, right? I think the students who learn this before fourth grade are even, are at much advantage than at a higher grade.
Will you be the teacher or?
Yes, I teach this class. I taught this last summer. Yeah, I've kind of taught like 4 or 5 batches so far. Mhm.
Thank you.
Any more? Thanks for joining, Mani. Any other questions? Anything more to? I think we have maybe 4 more minutes if we meet. Have any more questions?
I don't know if somebody else doesn't have questions, then I can.
I see. Okay.
So I know this is just an observation. So I've come across, you must have heard the Trachtenberg speed method of mathematics. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I've some of these like multiplying by 5 and 11 and all, I've come across in that.
I see. So yeah, the interesting part is, Vedic mathematics is so rich and it's very hidden, just like any other Vedas and the scriptures. The richness is, unfortunately, it has been termed as techniques and speed math. In fact, you'll be surprised that the famous Pythagoras theorem is very well documented in Vedas, right? But it was Pythagoras who studied that Veda, and I mean, of course, he got all the credit for it, but
Correct.
it is so just like that. When you see a lot of techniques that are taught as Russian math and Singapore math, the root of it is same. It's just like Sanskrit.
Yeah, I'm sure the it's like discoveries, right? So they discover it and apply it.
Yes.
But I mean, this is just an observation. So if you look up Trachtenberg, you will find out, how he actually did his job, in the sense how we compile that speech system.
Right.
So it's just a very interesting history there.
Okay, that's good to know. I should learn more about it. Yeah, there's a lot of it's coming up. Vedic mathematics is it's definitely more popular in UK because it is part of their school curriculum as well. There, some schools actually teach this as regular math class. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has been adopted, and the school board acknowledges this the richness of it. So it's nice to see that it has been adopted really well in UK schools.
Okay.
All right.
So you have more details of the website, huh?
This Talent Nook is, they give me the platform, so they arrange the classes and all of the, my job is just for teaching. So they have.
Oh, you are basically the content provider.
Correct.
And Talent Nook just does the.
Talent Nook is the platform to provide these classes and promote and all of that, right?
Right.
So yeah, I had the first year last year to teach a bunch of students.
So regarding like more details like fees and stuff and schedules and all that will be on Talent Nook, or should be?
It's all it's completely outside my thing. So Talent Nook will give you all the details once you sign up, and I'm sure you'll find out more details as we get closer to summer.
So like what's a date by which we can go and look up that website to see for more information? An approximate date.
My best guess is, again, don't quote me here, but my best guess is towards end of May.
Okay.
towards end of May, you should see some flyers and announcements when all the dates will be finalized.
Right.
We have one more of presentation towards end of May, mid-May. And then as soon as the school year is over, that's when classes will start.
Okay.
Just like any other summer offerings, yeah.
Very cool.
Right. Okay, I think it's 6:30. If anybody has more questions, I'll just stay on for a couple of more minutes, and then you can always email me if you have more questions.
Is your email here on the?
Um,
I know your contact, but I'm just wondering why.
I think the best way is to direct it to Talent Noob.
And
yeah, then from that platform, I automatically get it. Anyway.
okay.
Yeah, but for the classes, the forum is Google Classroom. So Google Classroom handles, all of those communications and all that once.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And do we, like, if you want to look over notes again, is there like do they provide any kind of recorded presentation which we can go over later if you want to revise something again?
Yeah. It's yes and no. Like I provide some video lessons.
Okay.
I record some of the, some complex questions that are there in the homework. I do video recording of those as I, solve it. So kids who miss the class. But that is all as part of the, Google Classroom. The Google Classroom will have the PDFs and all the resource material. So students can always go back. And I'm trying to put more videos this time than last year. I mean, more than just PDFs, sometimes it's easier to actually see the problems, especially for students who miss the class.
So your class last year, was it for which grade level did you conduct it for?
We had two batches, one for beginner, which was from grade 2, actually grade 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. That was one batch. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 was another batch. So we had, just because, some of the topics and it's easier to work with the same age group. I had two batches. And then I also had offered an advanced class, deal with some of the complex topics like square root and, and that class was a shorter duration of 6 sessions. And this particular was 12 sessions, if I'm right. 12, 15 sessions. Yeah, sorry, 15 sessions.
So when you say that if you want to sign up your 5th grader, you are just going by, if they're currently in 5th grade at public school, they can just do it.
Yeah, definitely. But the age is just meant for grouping so that students are, but the content is same. For the beginner class, the content is same. There is an advanced class as well. But this is kind of the prerequisite, right? You need to really understand the basic sutras before you get into advanced topics. So, yeah. I mean, you can do calculus and trigonometry as well once you get deep into the sutras. Yeah. I mean, there are 16 sutras. It's huge. It's a rich science by itself. But my goal is to introduce this subject to students so that they get curious and learn more on their own. And I believe if they learn this basic 5, 6 sutras, that should be good enough for them to, really get to the next level.
Right.
I mean, I wish I had learned this in my school days.
When did you start?
I found this out when, my brother got me this book when I was, I think, doing engineering. Yeah, and that was really fascinating that, when I saw that, Pythagoras theorem was there even, thousands of years back, it really fascinated that, it demands a lot of, it's really nice. I mean, and I think the key is to learn early in the academics. So to just build that confidence, especially for exams like SAT, and if you have some tools to verify your answers by some other ways, then you get that confidence that you did a problem, but you validated using Vedic mathematics. Then you most of the time math you can correct it yourself, right? And whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
So, that really helps if you know more than one way. So students who are not stuck with one method of solving the problem are at a big advantage when it comes to SAT, ACT kind of exams.
Yeah, not just one method. I think this is more elegant and more. It is definitely speedier in some cases. So.
And then it's mostly mental, right? You don't need paper and pen for some of this. You can visualize and really do it in your mind. And most of the time it's just a matter of once you know the method and you practice enough, it's mostly in your mind. And especially the multiplication ones, you don't need paper and pen.
Right.
All right, I think it's 6:36. Really thank you for joining and appreciate.
Thank you. Nice presentation.
We'll wrap up here and have a good evening. Bye.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.